Okay, who else we got here? So the Dolphins, Zach, take on the Commanders. We know what happens in games when the Dolphins play crappy teams. They light them up. Happens time and time again. What was the final score on this one? 45-15.
I turned it off when it was like...
It was on the road?
On the road. It was on the road, which was impressive.
On the road.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill is just crazy to watch. He had another huge game today, too. 160-yard touchdown. What was the other one?
78 yards.
78 yards. When he gets the ball, he's just so shifty. It's pretty unbelievable to watch. I was talking with Zach on the car ride over here. With the way the AFC is shaping up, and we just talked about this a little bit, but amongst the contenders, is Miami the second most trusted AFC team right now? Because Kansas City's starting to falter a little bit. Baltimore, we're pretty confident in Baltimore's offense and defense, but then again, in the playoffs, Lamar sometimes disappears. What's your confidence level on Miami right now, heading into what should be an AFC East title?
I mean, I've said this before. I really would have loved to see the Dolphins wind up, and I guess it's still possible, with the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Oh, it's very... They're currently the 1 seed.
The Dolphins are the 1 seed right now.
They currently... I mean, we have to see what happens. If the Chiefs win tonight, they
lost to Kansas City.
But as we do this podcast, they are the 1 seed.
If the Dolphins are the number 1 seed in the AFC, that's probably the most dangerous team in the AFC, yes. Because they can score like nobody else can score. They have playmakers upon playmakers. And if they host throughout, then they're the most dangerous team. Like I was saying, if they're the 2 or the 3 seed have to go on the road, then probably not. But the number 1 seed going through Miami with a team who can score how they can score, yes.
So the Dolphins end with hosting Tennessee, hosting the Jets, so you should win both of those.
If there's a team,
look at that.
If there's a team, let's say you're on your own 20-yard line, right? And you're down by 6 points, there's a minute left. Who am I betting my life on to go and score in a short amount of time? It's the Miami Dolphins.
So here's how the Chiefs end. They host Buffalo. They go to New England. They host the Raiders. They host the Bengals. They go to the Chargers. That's in addition to Green Bay later tonight. Do you see a loss there?
That's a winnable. They should win all those games.
Buffalo's the only one really where you think they might lose.
But I mean,
they should still win that.
The Dolphins played a close game with Kansas City. Could have won that game. Like, I mean, they could beat Kansas City.
Oh, they can. The Dolphins' chance here, you have to go to Baltimore. You play the Ravens in Baltimore week 17.
I'm not scared of Baltimore.
If the Dolphins win that game, they'll probably be the 2 seed. Or they'll be very much in the running for the 2 seed, maybe even the 1. That's the one to watch right now.
My final answer, bottom of the line, is I think right now the most dangerous team in the AFC is Baltimore. And I might have Miami at 3.
This is what the Dolphins do, though. They make you believe. We're like, oh, could the Dolphins be dangerous? And then they'll go into Baltimore and lose 45-3.
They have the 1 seed, though. They're going to the Super Bowl.
You need the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Ziggy, when you look at the AFC, how do you rank those 3? Baltimore, Kansas City, and the Dolphins.
They can score like nobody else.
It's tough. I mean, I have to think Kansas City figures it out. I just have to put them at 1. I'm sorry. I know what we've seen this year. I know they haven't looked their best, but it's Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. So they got to be 1. And then the Dolphins at 2, Ravens at 3. I feel like any of those teams could be good. Every single game, we get a little bit more data on each. But it's got to be the Chiefs first. The Dolphins and the Ravens, do whatever you want with.
You know, Jaguars fans are sitting back here right now saying, hey, we're going to be 9-3 after we beat the Bengals.
They know that they're...
Do they?
They're a distant
I don't know if they do.
They're a distant 4.
Here, James Conner rushes to Pittsburgh end zone for 9 yards.
24th.
You get stomped by the Cardinals.
24th right now.
Holy crap.
Yeah, Jaguars lost 34-3 at home.
Don't worry, I have James Conner on my fantasy team. We're living now.
If the Ravens or the Dolphins or the Chiefs hosted San Francisco, they're not losing by 30 points.
The Ravens, the Dolphins, or the Chiefs?
Yeah. The Jags lost by 30 points to San Francisco at home.
Yes.
They're a very good team, but number 4. And a clear-cut number 4.
Man, I want to believe in Miami so bad, but every time we see them in these big games, they don't show up. That's the problem.
I'll tell you what, man. The NFL needs to come in there and just ban the deep ball to Tyreek Hill. You know, they're the only team that can do it. It's so effective. Other teams find it unstoppable. They've spent all offseason trying to scheme up ways to beat it, and they just can't. Since apparently we're just banning plays that teams are good at, I think we should ban the Tyreek Hill go routes.
The tush push.
What is more of a glitch? The Tyreek Hill deep ball or the tush push?
The tush push.
The tush push.
The tush push.
I feel like every time Tua drops back to pass and launches the ball to Hill, he's 15 yards open. And it's
that might be the most
touchdown.
exciting, like the most exciting individual play in football or moment in football might be Tua getting ready to launch a pass. You go, all right, let's see how far
Hill's
Tyreek Hill.
wide open by 8 yards, and nobody's around him, and he waltzes to the end zone.
I feel for these NFL defensive coordinators. Like, imagine you're like a player on a defense against the Dolphins, and every single play, you know that if you blink, Tyreek Hill is just going to score an 80-yard touchdown. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Oh, did you see Travis Kelce talk about it? They were talking. I think Jason Kelce said, "Oh, he's so fast" on their podcast, and Travis just started laughing and said, "Dude, if you see it in person, it's unbelievable."
Imagine if Hill and Kelce are on the same team.
Imagine.
But then
they'd be unstoppable.
If Hill, like if it's not Hill, it's Waddle with a slant, and nobody can catch him in open field. It's impossible.
I don't know how the Bills do it. I don't know how the Bills find a way, Zach.